Good afternoon, everyone. It's good to be here. Matt, it's good to see you again. It's been a while. We're here in London today. Got myself, Paul Huet, Oliver Turner here next to me, the America's Gold, Silver. Wow, it took me a bit to get that company out there, but I still remember it. America's Gold and Silver. It's good to be here in London today.
Well, it's good to see you. I know you just jumped off the plane. You must be tired.
Yeah, I got a bit of jet lag, but it's okay.
Well, I got a call from you about 15 minutes ago. Yeah. I didn't even know you were here, so taking advantage of you. We're going to spend like a few minutes just kind of getting a bit of a catch up. You're here visiting, like who? What are you here to do?
We're here for the one-to-one London investor conference, and we're doing some marketing off the back of it. So this is our first big institutional push in London as a new management team. Have about 25 meetings over the next 3 days, which is good. Had a couple great ones this morning. Nice. Found 30 minutes to pop over here and chat to you guys.
Beautiful. And you're sort of targeting to institutional, aren't you? This is kind of moving into a different kind of phase of the company.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've taken from when we took over the company in December 17th was the actual official day. But if you take a look back when we announced the transaction on October 9th, the company's gone from about 8% institutionally owned up to 58% institutionally owned. That took us about 2.5 years to do at Karora, so we've been very fast here. We've had a lot of meetings, over 170 institutional meetings, and got a lot of the former shareholders from Karora and Klondike on the register now, including several groups here in London who we're meeting with as well. So it's been really, really strong reception here.
Okay, and I bet the institutions are interested in like the following statistics. But I think a year ago there were 12 large pure play opportunities, and 2 of those went last year.
Yep.
And 1 went this morning.
Just this morning. That's right. Absolutely. Yeah. So Mag Silver taken out by Pan American Silver, 2.1 billion, 1.6 times NAV. Yet another silver producer taken off the table here, down 12, down to I think probably 9 investable pure play silver producers. You look at the multiples that they're taken out at, right? Gatos and Silvercrest last year. 1.9 to 2.1 times, as I just mentioned, 1.6 for Mag Silver. So not many left. There's a scarcity of these assets, and obviously, interesting read-through for groups such as ourselves down the line as we're turning around this asset and scaling it back to its former glory. Watch this space because there just aren't many of these assets that are not in the hands of larger producers.
Okay, well that's what we're here to talk about tonight. Okay, it's that kind of setup that you're 120 days into this. You're kind of cleaning up the balance sheet and I guess cleaning up a lot of the activity in the company. So where are we at today? What do you got left to do? You're the guy.
Yeah, so look, there's been a lot of things that we have done on the balance sheet. So we've cleaned up about $48 million on the balance sheet, and that comes from a whole bunch of things that we've done. There was outstanding liabilities. We've taken out Eric Sprott, as everybody knows, his 40% ownership. There was a bunch of converts that we cleaned up. There was some promissory notes that we cleaned up. I'm just going to touch quickly. I know we only got a couple minutes here. And I want to talk a bit about Galena real quickly. I've been spending a lot of my time underground at Galena. Not to say that I won't spend a lot of time in Mexico. Mexico is extremely important to our story. But given, like you talked about, we've been here a little over 100 days here. We've had an exciting new intercept, a brand new vein called 34 vein. We're talking 983 gram over 3.4 meters. Yeah. That's 10, 12 feet wide. If we can't long hole that, shame on us. Shame on all of us if we can't long hole that. That is extremely wide. You look at those grades. This mine in 2002, it produced 5 million ounces. 5 million ounces of silver. It's been averaging 1.3 million ounces over the last decade, but you think about that. That's 4 times from where we are. And when the mine produced 5 million ounces, Matt, it was mining at about 650 tons per day. Mm-hmm. We're talking about getting to over 1,000 tons per day. And the grade back then was around 650 grams. So you look at some of these intercepts we got wide intercepts, 10, 12 feet wide, extremely high grade. What have we done here? We brought in a brand new long hole drill. The first ever drop raise in a decade at Galena. We drilled drop raise 80 feet long. So think about that. We bring in a drill, we commission it, we get it set up, we drill 80-foot long holes, we drill and blast this raise. First time in 10 years this has been done. A lot of people had been telling us, it's not gonna work there, it's not gonna work there. Look at our neighbors. Our neighbors are doing a great job with long hole. What we're doing today is all handhelds with jack legs. We've got to continue that, but go away from it and adopt long hole where it's safer, it's less cost, and it's more efficient. So from our perspective, this isn't rocket science. Bring in the long hole drills. We got one in. We just did our first ever drop raise. Very, very happy to have it done. We installed the manway in it. Bring in the new equipment. We've got pictures on our website. We just received 5 new pieces of equipment. We're commissioning them down underground. We're cutting them. We're bringing them down. We just got to split them in half. When I say cutting them, I'm just talking about splitting them in half and bringing them down the shaft and then putting them to work. So from our perspective, there's been a lot going on. And I do want to say one thing while I do have the floor here. I want to take a moment and welcome our newest director, Tara Hassan. We're very pleased to have her. Tara is a strong addition to the board. Just like every other company before, starting with a very strong board, a board that's been there, that knows what to do, a strong leadership. Tara is a welcomed addition to the board.
Right, well, absolutely. And let's talk about, run that back a bit. You said you got $10 million and you're not looking to dilute the heck out of the company. But I think you could be forgiven even if you did, because it's a means to an end. I'm looking at the kind of setup this year that you're going to be able to deliver. I get the long haul, etc. But what else is going to be important for you to get this thing back up and running the way it used to?
Yeah, so for us, we have to deliver on a couple of milestones. So first one is, we talked about long hole. Yeah. So we got to put in some waste development, and I'll talk about dollars there in a moment. So put in some waste development, get the right equipment to do it, doing some core drilling, changing the mining method. So remember, we've been talking about long hole. Yeah. It hasn't been done here for a decade. Yeah. 10 years, this hasn't been done here. Now we're adopting it. Now, one of the critical components we need to do long hole here is not just the drill and the remote control scoops, it's a paste fill plant. Because we're going to be mining with fill above our heads, we need a paste fill plant that doesn't exist on our mine site today. Okay. So these are things that are, but the equipment, the method, all these things that we're doing are happening Q3, Q4, the paste fill plant Q4. The money for that, look, it's no secret here. We've been out there working pretty hard aggressively at getting some debt. We have some people that have worked with us in the past. We're very close to getting that done. Okay. So I'm really pleased about that. That's why I talk about, look at the amount of stock I own. You've got Eric Sprott, you've got Merck, you've got Delbrook, you've got some big key shareholders out there. I think I'm number 5. So I put a lot of money into this. Oliver's put a lot of money. We all have. So we're quite excited about where we're going. With this debt, we're going to be in a position for the next 24 months to do all those things we need to do. All those things that I listed with the mining method, with the equipment, with improving the shaft. Actually, that's one thing I omitted. Improving the shaft is really important, man. It's been one of the number 1 bottlenecks at this facility. If you ever come underground here, you see we've got a facility here that's been here for 100 years, an older shaft. It's about making it more efficient. And how do we do that? We're skipping at about 42 tons per hour at the moment. We need to get that to over 100 tons per hour. And we're going to do that by changing the motors, changing the braking system, changing the communication, all of which gets done this year. And look, I know I gave a shout out to Tara Hassan, but I know there's going to be some of our employees watching this, and I want to say, look, there have been tremendous welcoming from our people. Some of our miners here at Galena are just crushing it. It's unbelievable the reception we're getting as we continue to open the door and do the training, get the equipment. Our miners are now making some really good money that they're earning, and I'm quite proud to see some of the productivity. I've seen productivity rates more than triple in some of these headings in less than 3 months. Triple. We're talking about going from 1.2 feet per man shift over 3.5 feet per man shift. These things are phenomenal, and that's our miners. Our men and women underground are just doing a great job. It's quite impressive.
Okay, so what you never want to do is overpromise, overstate this thing. So what is the potential for this, and how do you kind of allocate capital to ramp it up effectively? Let's use effective as a better word. To kind of get it to where you think it could be, because I want to know what I'm sort of investing in today. Is it a kind of slow ramp up story?
And so what you're investing in is a team that has done it before. Right. You're in a safe jurisdiction, a team that's done it before. You got to believe in silver. If you believe in silver, look, let's be very honest with ourselves. We're down to 7 or 8. We talked a bit about it here. If we did nothing, and you know us quite well here, we're not going to do nothing. If we did nothing, this share price triples based on where most of us believe silver is heading. Silver has a lot of runway in front of ourselves here. You look at the ratio between silver and gold. My God, it's never been as distorted as what we're seeing here at the moment, Matt. So the upside and the opportunity for us is about repeating that same playbook. I know, people go, well, you said that before, Paul. Well, it's the same thing. There's no point in complicating something that's not complicated here. It's put in a new leadership, put in a new mining method, bring in the right equipment, and just deliver. It's about, do the Nike thing. Just do it. Deliver. Focus on
Are you happy
delivering.
with where prices? Obviously, gold's had a bit of an knock today because the Chinese.
Yeah.
Silver doesn't seem to have been impacted yet, and maybe won't be partly because of the industrial component. I don't know, but you say you've got to believe in silver. Why would you say I need to believe in silver?
Well, look, I'm a firm believer in silver, but at $30 silver, this thing is going to rocket. Now, if you start thinking, well, could silver be 35, 40 bucks an ounce? Well, look at any other people in the world. There's a lot of people who are speculating even higher than that, given the distortion on the ratio. And gold has had an off day, but when you're seeing fluctuations, volatility on gold by $100 a day, geez, I remember sitting in front of you with Klondike's where we were begging for $20 an ounce and we were price protecting at $20 an ounce because we were selling gold at $1,100 or $1,050. There are some days when gold is up and down $100 a day. Like I'm shocked at seeing some of these prices, and it continues to distort that ratio between silver and gold. So personally, I go, look, at $30 an ounce silver, we do very well. This thing hums very well. It's about taking the mine from where it is. If you think back 5-10 years backwards, 1.3 million ounces a year. We're talking about bringing this to 5 million ounces. Now, you look at what we did at Karora. We didn't do it in 12 months, but what we did do was records. We got the first asset. We got the first mill. We were doing 20,000 tons of ore a month. We went to 50,000 tons. We went to 80,000 tons. We went to 100,000 tons. It's going to be the same playbook here, except the advantage here, when we were at Karora, Matt, me and Oliver were sitting in front of shareholders, whether it was retail, institution, we were telling them, we're going to do something that's never been done before. Yeah. In this case, we don't have to convince people of that. We're saying, look, this has already been done before. There's never been a metric in the mining industry that someone else has been able to do that our team hasn't been able to do. And we are boots on the ground people. You look at what we've been doing in this last 100 days. Personally, I think I've been underground 30 days of that 100 days. And I'm not alone. I'm coupled with the rest of the team around me. Oliver's marketing, telling the story, we're underground, or Mike Doolan in the mill, and the rest of our miners are just falling in line. It's been a very welcoming story, I can tell you right now. And what we have in front of us is exponential from this point.
Okay. You're pumped.
Hard not to be, right?
As usual.
Yeah. But what will we do? Yeah.
No, I know you're excited, and you've also put a ton of money in this thing as well.
We have.
But I'm also getting the eye from Oliver because you're now meant to be somewhere else. So
we are. Yeah.
Gonna let you. I do appreciate.
But let's quick talk about what the index that we got on, Oliver.
Oh yeah, that's actually a big milestone. So we just a couple weeks ago, just over a week ago, actually added to the SIL index. Why is that relevant? Why is that important? Because you're now in front of a whole group of very large investors. We're talking about the BlackRocks, the Rowe Prices of the world that only buy index constituents. So we're now part of that club. We're 0.43% of the index. That puts us into a whole new landscape for investability. So really important for us. We're going to be eyeing the GDXJ come September. We'll see if we get included there. But these are big milestones for a company like this and are very significant in the silver space.
What do you need to do to get it on the GDXJ?
It's traded volume. It's market cap on a relative basis. We satisfy every metric right now, but of course market caps can shift over the next several months. But we're on as it stands right now in a good space, and that obviously does the exact same thing as the SIL. Not as focused on silver. So the SIL is actually a bigger event for us, and we did that one first, which is huge. So exciting stuff for investors.
Nice work. Nice work indeed.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to be in London. Thank you. It's good to have us here in London.
You brought the weather with you.
It's great to be in London. So thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
And stay tuned. More to follow. Take care.